All right, let's get now the very latest about the trial from our reporter, Vanessa Poonah. Vanessa, good afternoon to you. Just, bring us up to speed in terms of what happened in the case today, particularly as it relates to the investigative officer. Of course, a long time for him on the stand.
Yes, good afternoon. Of course, we know that what's currently happening in this kidnapping and human trafficking trial of the young girl, Joshlin Smith, is that there is a trial within a trial. And that essentially means that statements or alleged confessions made by two of the accused in the matter, Vanessa Poonah, as well as Stefano van Rijn, those alleged confessions, the court has to decide whether indeed they would be admissible as evidence. So, of course, we've seen over the past few days that Captain Wesley Lombard has been in the stand, being questioned about how these alleged confessions came about, and also from the side of the defense counsel for these two accused. Essentially what they're saying is that the alleged confessions were coerced, that their clients' rights, the constitutional rights, were being violated. And then, of course, very important from their point of view is that they allege that their clients were indeed brutalized, tortured by police. So, of course, what we've seen today is the continuation of Captain Lombard being questioned around these issues. But also what we saw towards the afternoon was that his superior, his head, the actual head of the serious and violent crimes in the Western Cape, Brigadier Leon Hanana, took to the witness stand. He, of course, was led by the state in terms of his involvement in this matter, and also how he recalls, or his recollection of the morning of the 5th of March, the early hours of the morning, when Captain Wesley Lombard informed him that these two indeed wanted to make that confession. What he's told the court is that he was not surprised that a confession, or that they had indicated that they wanted to make this confession under cross-examination by Advocate Haramsa. He said that this is the reason why he brought in this team. It was a highly experienced team who dealt with kidnapping cases on a daily basis, and that he was not then surprised that these confessions came up, or the alleged confessions came up as and when they did. Of course, Judge Nathan Erasmus did indicate that this is a very important part of this matter, because one could understand that if indeed these confessions are allowed or are admissible in the case, we could look at it from the state's perspective that it would indeed strengthen their case. And then also, if it's not allowed as evidence, the defense counsel would then take that as a win in the broader trial of the kidnapping and human trafficking case of Joshlin Smith. What was also interesting, if I can just say that at the start of proceedings this morning, Judge Erasmus told the court that it would appear as though both the state as well as defense counsel have come under cyberbullying, as well as AI manipulation. He also went further to say that there seems to be groupings of people that have actually also linked him to the disappearance of the child. That is the judge himself. Of course, Judge says that perhaps a sign of the times that we are living in, that people could stoop so low, his words, and also saying that the court will not be deterred in this matter. They will act without fear or favor in this trial to determine, what exactly happened to Joshlin Smith, and whether the three accused before court are indeed guilty or innocent of the charges, or the charges they face and that they've been accused of in this matter.
And so one would imagine then he's back on the stand tomorrow. Just give us a sense in what we can expect as the trial continues.
Yes, of course. So Brigadier Hanana will be back on the stand tomorrow. The matter will commence at 8:30 in the morning. Of course, Judge Nathan Erasmus earlier indicated that he wants to use as much court time as possible for this case. You would know that while the court is in recess, this matter will continue for the next week or two until such time that, the matter has been concluded. So, of course, 8:30 tomorrow morning, Brigadier Hanana will be back in the witness stand. And of course, we do know that cross-examination by Mr. Haramsa, that's of course for Vanessa Poonah, as well as a cross-examination by Ms. Mkabai, she is counsel for accused number 2, Stefano van Rijn. That indeed will go ahead tomorrow. We've also heard from the witness that he indeed travels in and out of Saldanha on a daily basis. And of course, the judge then wanting to make sure that his testimony as well as cross-examination is wrapped up before possibly more witnesses are called to testify in this trial, within a trial.
All right, Vanessa, thank you so much for that update and, of course, wrapping that all up for us. Vanessa Poonah coming to us there from the Western Cape, and that is, of course, on the Joshlin Smith kidnapping and human trafficking trial happening in the Western Cape High Court, sitting in Saldanha Bay on the Cape West Coast.